Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. In our ongoing podcast series entitled Idaho versus Kohberger, we provide information from the record and also our opinions based on the First Amendment. At this time, we're going to proffer an opinion as to whether the record evidence reveals that Mr. Kohberger may have been overcharged with respect to the 4 first-degree unalivings, which requires each and every element of the 4 unaliving counts to be proven by the state of Idaho at beyond the reasonable doubt evidentiary standard at the future trial, which has now been canceled due to Mr. Kohberger's agreeing to plead guilty to all 5 of the felonies charged in the indictment, including counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, which brought with them the potential of the sentence of DP for all 4 of the counts. I'd like to direct your attention to 2 things. First, to the indictment returned by the Latah County Grand Jury on May 16, 2023. It's available for you to read on the docket. Go to page 2. This is where counts 2, 3, 4, and 5 are located. Each one of them say the following: unaliving in the first degree, citing to the statute and what is required within the statute for this crime. That the defendant Brian C. Kohberger, on or about November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought. And then the rest goes on to state the unaliving of Madison in count 2, of Kaylee in 3, of Madison in 4, and Ethan in 5. In order to prove this count, the state would have had to show premeditation and malice aforethought. In other words, that Mr. Kohberger intended to commit each and every one of these unalivings. You'll see there's no lesser included charge here. Sometimes what a prosecutor will do is, if there's a concern, particularly that intention may not be proven to the jury, well, they'll include a count for second-degree unaliving, which typically does not require the prosecutor to prove premeditation and malice aforethought. But there is no other charge here than first-degree unaliving requiring premeditation and with malice aforethought to be proven by the state. The second item that I would like to call your attention to is the prosecutor's words at the July 2nd hearing to the effect that Mr. Kohberger encountered Zana and that he may not have intended for all 4 of these unalivings to occur. And if that's true, then the question is, why was this charge brought for all 4 of the students? There are apparently court minutes from that hearing that appear on the case summary page. It's a PDF document that says it's a public record. They have not yet been published or released to the public. But we do know that there's a sentencing hearing coming up on the 23rd of July when Mr. Kohberger will be sentenced. And the question that I'm raising at this point, how can he possibly be sentenced for first-degree unaliving for all 4 of the counts when there's no other option for the court to conclude that maybe this was second-degree unaliving? It has to be first degree or nothing. And if intent is not present, now what? This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. Thank you for joining us today.